Ohio conveniently lifted restrictions on toxic waste incinerators less than 2 months before the East Palestine crash. An incinerator expansion proposal was snuck into a bill on water and sewer infrastructure just before midnight on the second to last day of the legislative session. Passed along nearly entirely party lines, House Bill 364 passed with Republicans in support and Democrats opposed. There's been a moratorium on expanding hazardous waste capacity at incinerators for 30 years. This bill changes all of that, allowing those built before April 15, 1993 to expand. 4 such facilities exist in Ohio. However, the author of the last-minute amendment, Republican State Senator Rob McColley, says the exception applies to just one facility. That brings us to Ross Environmental in Grafton, Ohio. Currently, the company has received more than 500 tons of toxic waste from East Palestine's train derailment. After the bill was passed, Ross Environmental said in January that they, quote, have no definitive plans to announce an expansion in the near term. But all of that has changed. By July, Eaton Township Zoning Commission had already recommended a modified version of Ross Environmental's expansion request. It would allow 65 acres of Ross property to be rezoned from light industrial to heavy industrial. The company wants to build a monofill so they don't have to truck waste ash out of state and pay other companies to bury it for them. If approved, the 50-foot monofill will be buried 10 to 17 feet deep between layers of plastic sheeting that sits on top a layer of non-porous clay. Ross Environmental cannot guarantee the monofill won't fail and that groundwater won't be polluted. Recently, Australian researchers reviewed nearly 100 studies of health effects of waste incinerators. They noted significant risks associated with both food contamination and ingestion for both nearby and distant residents. They specifically warned that, quote, many older incinerators were linked to neoplasia, reproductive issues, and other diseases. After receiving conflicting information from the Ohio EPA, activist Karen Johnson met with the agency. She alleges that a program manager swayed a board member by saying that the HDPE liner to be used would last 400 years. However, in the past, the EPA has said that, quote, no liner can keep all liquids out of the ground for all time. Eventually, liners will either degrade, tear, or crack, and will allow liquid to migrate out of the unit. In reality, these liners are affected by a variety of factors, and depending on their exposure, can last just a few years. Even though the expansion has yet to pass Eaton Township, the Ohio EPA director has already approved multiple requests by the company for temporary storage of 600,000 gallons of solid, phased episodic waste. They are not a storage facility, yet the Ohio EPA keeps extending this exemption. Although they are not expanding, 2 other Ohio locations are also receiving toxic waste from East Palestine, including Heritage Thermal in East Liverpool and Waste Management's Vickery location. Join the Facebook group Stop Toxic Spread for the latest updates. Do you agree with the residents that the monofill should be stopped? Let me know in the comments. Now that you know where we've been, find out where we're going. Tune in to Ladies Love Politics, where you can stay informed without going insane.